Hello, and welcome to the movie analysis of the movie They Live from 1988 with the director John Carpenter and starring Rowdy Roddy Piper. This is a movie that you actually have to ask the question about, was this a science fiction film or was this a documentary, as Rowdy Roddy Piper suggested just before he died? What's also interesting is that I've tried to put this video out 10 times. I have tried to make this 10 times in the last couple of hours today. And each time in trying to make it, something has either caused a problem, whether it be the equipment, something with the setup, there's been people cutting grass outside. Constantly, I've not been able to get this done. This is about the 10th time I'm trying to do it. So it's indicating that there is an energy trying to block this from being made. So, which is very interesting because the movie itself is all about the control of reality and the main character awakening to that control, awakening to see that he and all other humans are sleeping. Because the title of the movie comes from a slogan that was on the wall of the church, which was the Resistance Center and is the Resistance slogan. And it's not just they live, it's they live, we sleep. So it's very important. The whole quotation is they live, we sleep. And we will see how the main character handles his awakening into things within the dream and possibly ultimate reality by the end of it. Now the movie begins after about a 10-minute long opening credits in which Piper is just walking around the city. The first bit of actual dialogue comes when he meets a preacher on the street, a blind preacher. And he keeps talking about how they have everyone under control, and he doesn't, of course, explain he doesn't explain what the control is. And as you can see, very few people are standing around listening to the preacher. Most would just continue walking by, considering him crazy, but Piper stops. Piper has enough awareness to say, okay, something's different going on here. Let me just take it in and see what it is. At this point, I don't think he's making any judgments. He's just curious.
They use their tongues to deceive. The venom of snakes is under their lips. And their mouths are full of bitterness and curses. And in their paths, nothing but ruin and misery. And the fear of God is not before their eyes. They have taken the hearts and minds of our leaders. They have recruited the rich and the powerful. And they have blinded us to the truth. And our human spirit is corrupted. Why do we worship greed? Because outside the limit of our sight, feeding off us, perched on top of us from birth to death, are our owners. Our owners. They have us. They control us. They are our masters. Wake up. They're all about you, all around you.
The preacher's last words we hear are, "Wake up, please wake up." So that tells us right away this is a wake-up story. It tells us also, because of the intensity of his words, that there is a time factor to this, that we don't have a lot of time. We have to wake up, and we have to wake up now. All of a sudden, the police arrive to haul off the crazy blind preacher, which doesn't make sense. He's seemingly not causing any trouble. There's almost nobody listening to him anyway. He doesn't really have any kind of serious message. So obviously, the people arresting him and stopping him from talking are connected to the they who has everyone under control. Piper's obviously an outcast coming from another city. He attempts and finally does get a job on a construction site and gets a friend named Frank. Frank takes Nada back to the village, and at the village, which is obviously a very almost dilapidated tent house, there seems like to have been some sort of massive economic or social depression that has caused a large number of the working class to not even be able to afford homes. That's kind of the impression I think they're giving with this sort of working camp. While they're in the camp, they start watching television. And on the television with some other people, there's a hack. A hacker has broken into the TV broadcast trying to send a message out to people, which includes, "You are locked in a trance." And again, this is an incredible message of the movie, is that we as humans are hypnotized by this external force, and that we don't even know that we are in a trance.
You've always thought you couldn't dare press on nails because of all the active things you do? Well, if you're ready for beautiful, natural-looking, easy-to-apply nails, pre-colored in 7 luscious hues, just...
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
Oh, goddamn hacker, that second time tonight that asshole's cut in.
The movement was begun 8 months ago by a small group of scientists who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent through...
It's giving me a headache. Yeah, tell me about it. Us took the hackers months to figure out how to do this.
The poor and the underclass are growing. Racial justice and human rights are non-existent. They have created a repressive society, and we are their unwitting accomplices. Their intention to rule rests with the annihilation of consciousness. We have been lulled into a trance. They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others. We are focused only on our own gain. We Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered. That is their primary method of survival. Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated.
It's also interesting that television is one of the easiest ways to indoctrinate and pass on subliminal messages, and a large number of things that are in television programs, the news, anything else that goes on TV is designed to hit the subconscious of the person. So your conscious mind is missing it, your subconscious is picking it up. Piper's still unsure about everything, but he notices that an odd church across the street is just playing a recording of a mass. There's no actual mass going on. And he finds that it's actually a front for the resistance. He's not sure what the resistance is. He just sees this sign that says, they live, we sleep. He finds a box of sunglasses. Soon the church is attacked, the camp is destroyed, but he goes back, grabs the box of sunglasses that he had hidden, and goes onto the street. The movie really begins when he puts on the sunglasses, and it's 2 of the most important scenes in the movie. One is the sunglasses scene, and the other is the scene with the fight. And with the sunglasses on, he's going to wind up seeing something that he didn't know that he would be seeing. Everywhere he finds advertising or information or anything else, underneath it is a subliminal command. And those subliminal commands are things like this: obey, buy, consume, watch TV, stay asleep. So the sunglasses reveal the programming that is hitting the subconscious, of which the consciousness never picks up. While he's also wearing the sunglasses, he also winds up seeing first person that's not a person. They're described as aliens in the program. He looks more like a robot, but it's the first thing that happens is he sees people that are not people. And in this case, the first thing that the robot type thing says to him is, "What's your problem?" Because he's staring at it. And I think this is kind of it's more of a symbolic statement, not a question, more of a, why are you not in awe or in fear of me like the rest? Piper is somehow looking different than everyone else at him because, of course, he sees. As he goes along, he sees more and more of these people, whether he's out shopping and walking on the street. Finally, one of them somehow recognizes that Piper can know who they are. He says, "I've got one that can see." And that's a very important statement again, because in Carlos Castaneda's teachings, for example, one of the most important steps of your knowing is the process called seeing. Being able to see something at a deeper level of reality. They also they call out an alarm by speaking into these watches, which are quite unique because the watches not only provide communication, they also later in the film provide the ability to transport themselves into an underground world. It doesn't take him long to get a headache from wearing the glasses after he sort of escapes from the people who are chasing him. And the headache is symbolic of how difficult truth is to accept for the reasoning mind. And I know myself in many cases when I've had really intense understandings and knowledge that's come to me, I have had days of headaches from it because, again, it's the mind processing that which it can't process. What then comes in the movie is the longest fight scene in movie history. And when I first watched the movie, I thought the fight scene was incredibly stupid because it takes like 10 minutes. It's also hard to understand because he's not fighting the enemy. He's not fighting some alien. He's not fighting someone who's controlling him. He's fighting his best and, in fact, his only friend. He and his friend are beating themselves to a pulp because Piper wants him to wear the sunglasses and Frank won't wear them.
Try these on.
Look, you crazy mother.
Put these on.
Hey, stay away from me.
I'm telling you, you dumb son of a... I'm trying to save you and your family's life.
You couldn't even save your own.
I'm giving you a choice. Either put on these glasses or start eating that trash can.
Not this year.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Come on. Come on.
I don't want to fight you.
Come on.
I don't want to fight you. Stop it.
No.
Put on the glasses. Look at them, they're everywhere!
I don't know. Maybe they can see. Valley 5th and Spring.
Now, hold on. You ain't the first son of a bitch to wake up out of their dream.
What's that?
Brother, life's a bitch.
Everything that they believed is a giant lie. That's happening right now. If you start to see through what's going on in our current reality right now, which is spiritual warfare. I will make a video on this coming up, but we are in a type of spiritual warfare. And if you try to share that with someone else who's a friend of yours, expect kickback. Expect to have them be like Frank, and they're going to fight you. And you don't have a choice to either back away and not take the punishment, just forget talking to them, or are you going to be like Piper and keep going until, in this case, Frank puts on the sunglasses. And when Frank finally sees, they manage to escape, they get to a rooming house, and now they discuss the world situation there. And now they can discuss the situation because they both can see, they are both, in this sense, awakened. So this is also important. Piper's now saying he's not going to follow the system anymore. He's not going to do what he's told. He's not going to believe what he's expected to believe. He is going to break free, and he is going to try to live in a free state, away from the programming, away from the dictates of his mind. As the movie starts to reach its conclusion, they wind up getting into an underground world. And in the underground world, they run into a transit point. I was going to talk about this hollow earth theory, but I don't think it's that important. We'll just move on to what you're looking at now. That's Piper and Frank coming to an elitist party in this underground world. And at the party, the top level humans, the 1%, are being thanked for their help by their alien robot leaders, with promises of being given more money and more importance.
Attention, your wristwatch has malfunctioned. This entryway is temporary and will disappear
Get in
in
there.
10
What?
seconds.
Move.
We don't know what's down there.
Now.
8 seconds.